Hello and welcome to another MySQL tutorial. Today we're still discussing about the basics of MySQL, and the first thing that I've done here is in my MySQL folder I've created a login form.html file, which is right here. Inside I've made a form with the action attributes which leads to validation.php file. Inside there's two inputs with login and password and a button which is actually a submit button. Now we're going to go ahead and open up our validation.php, and inside we're going to put our already pre-prepared code which we made during our last lesson, and just right at the end I'm going to add a result variable which says select login password from users. The reason why it says users is because right here the name of our table is users. Now to begin, what we're going to do is we're going to try and see how many results the query brings. So we're going to be using a PHP feature. So let's go ahead and type in value, so the amount of results that we'll get, and we're going to type in MySQL underscore, and we need an I as well, and num and rows. And then in its brackets we're going to display our result, and we need to add in a echo with our value. And let's just quickly change result with SQL1, and now let's actually type in our result, and through MySQLi query we'll get our connection variable, which is this con, like so. And we need to also put a comma and go ahead and add in our SQL1 as well. Okay, now let's save this. Let's go ahead and open up this file, which is localhost MySQL2, and it is validation.php. And I missed this semicolon here. Now let's save this and let's refresh, and we're going to get this 3. So the reason why we have the number 3 is because in our table we have 3 users. Now if we take this right here and we go into our SQL parts, and if I paste this right here, and we need to get rid of this. So if we go ahead and copy this, paste it into our SQL part, what we're going to see is, click on go, we're going to get our 3 users, and we're only going to get the login and password because that's what we requested. That was our query. So now what we can do, this is my login form HTML file. I can come into here, go into SQL. So what we're going to write right here is login, and then we're going to put where right here. Then I'm going to get rid of this 1 right here. I'm going to type in login and equal sign, and let's select one of our users, so Simon, and his password was Simon Pass. So I need to put and password equals Simon Pass. Now if I go ahead and click on go, I'm just going to get my login area with Simon. So these details need to be filled in our HTML file by the user. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our notepad. First of all, let's add a method. So if they're sent by the post method, and then in our validation.php we need to sort of take in this file. So let's go ahead and create a name variable, and then we're going to use our post method. We're going to type login inside, then we're going to do the same exact thing for the password, so pass1, and then right here we're going to put password. And then if we add onto here where login equals Simon and our password equals Simon Pass. Save and refresh, when we refresh right here, we'll get an error. So after saving and refreshing, it doesn't matter what we write, and if we click on login, so our button, we'll get the one value as there is only one Simon user. Now what we need to do is we need to actually check these. So we need to put these variables instead of our login Simon and the Simon pass. So the first one is name, so put your variable name, and then the second one is the password, which is pass1. Now save and refresh. If we save and refresh, we'll get the value 0. This is because we didn't actually write anything in the fields, we just clicked on our button. If we go back and if I just write some random stuff, if I click on login, I'll still get 0. This is because I'm not actually writing the intended words, so I can write Simon and my Simon pass. Now if I click on login, I'll get the value 1. So as we see in the wrong entry, so due to the wrong entry we get 0. If we write the right thing, we get a 1. So let's say I were to write Simon 1 and Simon pass right here, I'll still get 0. And let's say I was to write, what's my second user, Mike Wazowski. So Mike Wazowski, and if I click on login, I'll get 1. As in our database, there is a user with the name of Mike, or the login Mike, and the password Wazowski. So now we've seen our value variable. Now let's go ahead and check it. So we're going to do this with our if statement, and we need to put a bracket here as well. We're going to put 2 equals 1, and then we're going to open our curly braces, and let's just display something like correct entry. If the value isn't 1, then we'll write wrong entry. So we're going to do this through else, and we'll echo wrong entry or wrong details, doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and save. Then let's go ahead and try this. So let's write Mike Wazowski. I'm going to get correct entry. If I write something random and if I click on login, I'm going to get wrong details. Let's go ahead and comment on this line, and just to make our code a little bit more safer, we're going to go ahead and type in MySQL real escape string, which is a PHP function which basically makes our code a little bit more safer. And we're going to type in our connect variable with our post method, and we'll do the same exact thing for the second line as well. And here we are. So these 2 lines are using our connect variable, so let's cut it out of here and paste it somewhere near our conf, so after it, and here we are. If I save, refresh, and show you, what we're gonna see is that the same thing still happens, however it is a little bit more safer. Let's talk a little bit more about the real escape string function. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a space here, and we're going to echo our name variable. Now if we go ahead and save this, go into our inputs, and let's say I'm going to type in something like AAA, just random A's, and then we put a slash and just a quotation mark. If I click on login, I'm going to get my A's with my 1 slash and my quote, however there's 2 more slashes added. So this is how our MySQL real escape string keeps the safety of our web page. Now to continue, let's try and do this code with Ajax and not with simple forms. Just to let you know, our get method won't allow our code to work. It's just not advised for this sort of code. And the reason behind it is because our login and password get shown right here. So these aren't the assignment pass, login and password. This is just some random letters that I typed in. For Ajax, we absolutely don't need form. We can also get rid of this submit, and we just have to add in a ID with, let's say, enter, and then we have to add jQuery code, as Ajax is being used through jQuery. Let's use our jQuery .post method, and it's going to be our PHP file, which is validation.php, like so. And then we need to put a comma, open up curly braces. Inside we're going to put our login and our password, because those are the two things that we want. And then we're going to put a $sign with our input name, which will equal login. And let's do these with single quotation marks, like so. And then I made a mistake here. And when we write login, then after this bracket we're going to put a .value, and then a comma with password. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And inside we're essentially putting in the same thing, just with password. Put in name with password, like so, and then .val. Now let's make a div, which will have the ID of status, like so. Now we're going to make this function with result, and inside we're going to go ahead and type in a $sign with our div ID, which is status, and then we're going to put .html with result. And what we also need to write is our click function. So let's go ahead and type in our variable, our ID, enter, so the button. So we're going to write a click function, like so.